packet, I need to start with a disclaimer. I've never used one of these before. It's brand new, it's still in the original packaging, it's never been opened. I have never before used a gel printing plate from Gelli Arts. Okay, now I know on YouTube and on thousands of blogs all over the world there are people that have been using these since they came out 2 or 3 years ago. They are better at it than me, they've had more practice than me, and probably more imaginative than me. I have spent the last 2 or 3 weeks since I got this Gelli plate, since this arrived on my mat, watching other people using the Gelli plate, because I didn't want to get started on this without first seeing what other people were doing. So if you have a Gelli plate, if you have anything similar, like I have used in the past a silicone mat, I've used a glass cutting mat, I've even got a sheet of photopolymer, which is what the stamps are made out of, that I've even tried in the same way. I've never used an official Gelli plate. So I'm not an expert, I don't know what I'm doing. When I take it out of the packet, it will be for the first time. So I'm gonna make mistakes, I'm gonna make a mess. So let's just get on and do it. Okay, stupid mistake number 1. Since I did that intro, a friend popped round and saw me holding this Gelli plate in my hand and quite innocently said, "What's that?" So I opened it and I had a piece of writing paper that I'd written on in pencil, and I'd laid the sheet of paper over the top of the Gelli plate to show how it worked. And then when I peeled the paper off, some of the graphite from the pencil was transferred onto the plate. I don't know whether you can just see the faint outline of the writing. It might be better if I actually put it onto a piece of white card so you might be able to see it better. Yeah. So it's actually transferred the graphite onto the Gelli plate. Now I've cleaned it, and I've also cleaned it with soapy water, and I've cleaned it with antibacterial hand wash, which is what is recommended to clean it, and the graphite hasn't come off. So even before I even started, I may have ruined the plate. Maybe, maybe not, who knows. So I'm going to just do a quick play with some acrylic paint now and see whether or not it does actually come off. So let's see what we've got. I've got avocado green, and let's do a pink. A pink and green, so let's see what happens. I've got my brayer. Excuse me. So I'm hoping that the graphite will lift once. Oh, by the way, the paint I'm using, this is the Artiste, Ducrafts Artiste acrylic paint. So let's just put a few blobs down and see what happens, shall we? Well, so far it seems to be working in exactly the same way as the silicone mat. So I've not done a pull yet. Perhaps I haven't used enough paint. Now I'm conscious that until I actually start using the plate on a regular basis, that I'm not really going to know how much paint to use to any real great effect. So there we go. Okay, so I've covered my Gelli plate. So I'm going to use, let's have a look. I've I've got some Ranger texture tools. So, and I've never used these before, so I'm just going to take one off. I've got them on a book ring, and see what I can do with this one. Okay, like I said, first time use. Let's just see if we can get a decent pull off that. What else have I got? One of these circles, so let's drop that on and just push that down into it and do that. Seem to be getting some decent patterns off there. This is the 8x10 Gelli plate, which isn't the biggest you can get, but one of the biggest. Schoolboy error. Okay, so I've got some sheets that I took out from my Dilutions journal, and let's see what happens. The first pulling from the new Gelli plate. Okay. It is kind of cream or ivory looking, the card, so let's throw on some other paint. Let's use some more of the green. Let's see what happens with that. Maybe need a larger brayer, I don't know. This is how we play, and this is how we learn. Okay, so I'm just going to use a brush, and I'm going to draw some swirly circles with the handle. It does feel quite soft and forgiving. Obviously the glass mat that I used before was very, very solid. Okay, another sheet from my journal. Okay. Alrighty then, let's try putting some white because I'm just interested to see what would happen with that. Sheet from my old journal. You probably won't be able to see anything because it's white on cream. Yeah, now then, I think that's slid. very, very subtle kind of print. See, there's nothing really come off there. So I'm going to get a very strong colour, Lagoon. And then using the brayer, which I haven't cleaned, and then let's see, have I got a lid or something? I did have a tub full of things to make marks with. Let's see what we can use this for. Now they are sliding slightly. Okay, and then let's try some little squigglies. Let's see what happens with that. I think I'm working on my own shadow here, aren't I? See, some of the white's still showing through. Interesting. So it's only taken the top layer off and left. See, it's all still wet, which is really interesting. Let's do that again. This time I'm going to grab, let's see, a flower punch and a piece of card, and I'm going to just randomly lay some of these I'm trying to work fairly quickly because I know it's very warm here today in the UK. Apparently the temperature is higher than Miami, so go figure. Okay, so I'm going to bring back in that green one and I'm going to drop this over the top and let's see what happens. A little bit more rubbing pressure. Well, who'd have thought it? Well, I say who'd have thought it. Obviously you guys out there that have used these things before will know exactly what it would have done. Right, if you can hear voices in the background, I do apologise. My partner is making a pizza from scratch all by himself in the kitchen, which is the next room to my craft room. And he's made the pizza dough from scratch, and he's using chicken and chorizo and onions and lots of lovely stuff. But Bentley the dog keeps harassing him. I think it's the chicken he's after. I can hear him shouting at Bentley. Not shouting, but you know, telling him to go away politely. Okay, so let's see what happens there. Okay, some interesting results so far. Now I'm using multi-layering, so there's still some blue on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw some white in there now. No, I won't. I'll throw some of the pink. See if I've got a darker pink. See what happens with that. That's a metallic. That's a metallic. Dusty rose. Okay, with the blue. Interesting concept, but there you go. This is what play is all about, isn't it? And I haven't cleaned the brayer, so let's see what happens. So we've got blue on the top, or blue on the bottom layer, and pink on the top. Interesting. Let's see what other punches I've got. Butterfly punch. Let's see if we can drop some butterflies on this. This will be interesting. I'm just going to drop them on at random. So wherever they land, apart from that one. Let's drop that one over there. Because that one bounced. Okay, that'll do. I'm going to use this one again. So let's see what happens. I'll just line that up with my fingers. Okay, boys and girls. Simple masking out. And theoretically, if I turn those over, and drop them somewhere else, we should with any luck get a different effect. Okay, fresh sheet of paper. Again, I'm not using any texture this time, just simple masking. Let's see what we get from that. Not unpleasant. So we've got double the butterflies, but the colours aren't exactly perfect. Okay, so let's take those butterflies off. And I think I'm going to clean up and then come back again later. Okay, so I've cleaned the plate, and as you can see, the writing is still there from the pencil. Let me see if I can grab a piece of white card so you can see. There you go. It's still there. All the paint's gone, but all the writing, you can see it more clearly when you turn it over that way. There you go. So you can still see it, but it's not affected the Gelli plate in any way at all. So there you go. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, I've done 5 prints off. That'll be it for today, I think. And then I'm going to let everything dry out and then come back again tomorrow, but for you it'll probably only be in a few minutes.